because it has come to really very strong networks have been built in the last 3 years. And
resume the loading after some seconds. So the video was supposed to present you what we have done so far for the 4 days, and it can also be used as a wrap up of all the discussion we also had here. So maybe we will have a wrap up discussion after this afternoon, I think. But it's also an element that we can also use for that purpose. So you mentioned the video, the social media activity. I think that Dan, you are the one who can talk about it.
Good afternoon. That went up. One of the tweets is captioned at the sidelines of the third CoMMPASS International Conference. It was just showing light moments, and it has a reach of 1,500 people right now, with over 40 people liking it. That is the first tweet. Then if you notice, most of the tweets have reposted by you reposted. That is the school, UCU School of Journalism, reposting Makerere. So there's been that aspect of collaboration. Actually, when we were coming up with the captions, there are some captions that Makerere could put up and UCU would repost. Then UCU would not post that same caption. UCU would look for another caption, and Makerere would do vice versa. So there was that aspect of collaboration in the between the and UCU. One challenge we faced is misquoting speakers, and I think we had one incident of a speaker coming to us and saying, you know, this is not what I said. Put down the tweet, and so we had to put down the tweet and then find an alternative tweet. We worked around with her and put up another tweet. Yeah, but I think it was a challenge of the environment we're working in, a fast-paced environment. People are speaking so fast, so we missed things there and there, here and there. And then we had discussions as a team, and we got ways on how we cannot, ways on how to avoid such mistakes. So that is for the social media posting. On X, we used hashtags. We generated hashtags initially. We are using hashtag CoMMPASS Conference 2026, hashtag media and migrations, and then finally hashtag UCU journalism. Those were the hashtags that were overriding on almost all our posts. That said and done, we also had this aspect of journalism. So we're actively reporting the conference as it happens. So we had postings happening on the CoMMPASS website, the WordPress website for the CoMMPASS, for CoMMPASS. So we had a number of articles going up there, as you can see. There are a number of articles with that screenshot. Please go to the next slide. The number of articles on the CoMMPASS website that you can check on that the students came up with. Also, the standard Uganda Christian University was also active in uploading articles. We have an article there by Victor. Then we had the UCU website, which was also having a hyperlink of the YouTube. There was a live stream that was happening throughout the conference. All the days have been recorded, and you can get that information on the Uganda Christian University YouTube channel. Alternatively, you can get that information through the UCU website, which can take you to the hyperlink. So we have we also had we had different had the New Vision. That article had the New Vision. That article down there is by the New Vision. The New Vision is one of the biggest print papers we have in the country. So they were present. We also had the Uganda Radio Network, which was present. We had UBC, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation. That is our biggest television station. They were also present. We had Family TV. They were present. They have content that ran. I talked about the New Vision. We had the Daily Monitor. We have a local media here in Mukono. Mukono FM was also present. We had CBS FM. That is one of the biggest local media outlets in the country. It was also present. We had Namirembe FM, we had Nile Post, and we had Radio One. And I've been informed that probably they could stand up for recognition. All the journalists behind the corner that supported us. Yes, there they are. Thank you so much for putting out this. Yes, then the team that was working with us, we had the UCU team, people who are not here. Just a quick mention of them. We have Timothy Okorut, we have Andrew Bugembe, we have Michael Aino Mugisha, we have Victor, we have Andrew Goom, who was supposed to be on the panel right now, but he's working on designing of the. So post-conference, we are going to continue engaging on our social.
The wonderful work you have done so far. And I know that you will continue to do the same way. I would like to have one question. Maybe one or two of you can just answer, and then I will leave the floor to the participants if they have any question, any comments for you. The question is about migration.
So as a team, we spoke and we were talking about some of the topics that were discussed here. And one of the things that really caught our interest and attention was the use of AI. We are here in the age of AI, and I think it is here to stay. So we were discussing on how to use AI, and we have resolved that some of the ways we are going to use AI in combination with other existing medias and technologies that have been there to report about migration, is in that aspect of creating the social behavior change illustrations. Now, these ones are mostly going to be targeting some of the communities that are not really literate. Some of them, you would get to see in our rural settings. They are usually posters that are put up or in public, notes boards or somewhere where there are cartoons or something. So we are planning, on using a combination of Illustrator, Photoshop, and then some ChatGPT to create some of these cartoons and illustrations to report about that. And then we've also resolved that we are going to use social media platforms in combination with the existing traditional media channels to report about this migration and what is happening in Africa. The other one is documentaries. One of the things that transpired this week, on Monday, there was, I think, a gentleman from Somalia who told us, who shared his story of, the things that he has gone through. And he was willing, to give us more information on topics like trafficking and how to report about them. Now, some of the things he said are a little bit sensitive to be shared, whereby you can't get photos or videos. Now, in that aspect, we said we can get to use, some of the content generated, but we also say that it would be okay to create a lot of those documentaries. There seems to be an increasing space for documentaries on different platforms. Besides the traditional TVs, there are quite a number of platforms that documentaries can be showcased. Netflix is one of them, YouTube, and all these other platforms. In Uganda, I think there are platforms like Your TV, which have spaces for documentaries to be uploaded. There are platforms like Afro Media. Some of these documentaries can even be uploaded free of charge. But now the issue would be getting the content and getting it to be filmed. So we are going to work together, collaborating within Uganda, Malawi, and Burkina Faso. The team from Uganda, since we are close, him and me and some of the colleagues out there, we said that on Monday we shall follow up with that story from the gentleman to see, how to make awareness with it. So that is one of the things that we. Thank you. So those are some of the things that we have said we are going to create awareness. The other is with our colleagues who are still continuing in the years below, because this was, for most of us, it was the first time we're hearing about the course, but I'm sure there are quite a number of students in the years below, even in the master's class, who would want to take part of in this course. So we are going to do that advocacy to make sure that CoMMPASS is made, much aware of, not only in UCU and Makerere, but quite a number of institutions. There are even other institutions which train journalists like WUMCAT, YMCA, and others. So we usually get to network with some of those colleagues. So we are going to let them know so that they can freely join this course. And, I'm positive that we are going to have an impact in reporting on migration in Africa. Thank you.
Thank you. Penina, you want to add something? Okay, brief. We are running out of time.
Yeah, just very briefly, I am not going to add on what he said. I just have a question I am throwing back to the academia. Yesterday, we had discussions about AI and journalists. Now we are using AI. I use AI in my writing. I use AI in most of my journalistic work. I try to use AI as a companion. Now, the question I'm asking, trust is one of the big components in journalism, public trust. When we write something, we want the public to believe in us, we want the public to trust us. But we have this idea of AI eroding trust from people. People do not trust AI-generated content. As a journalist, if I produce a story and I've used AI as a companion, should I have a shared byline with AI? Probably that is a question I am pushing to the academia to help us see how to navigate that. Thank you.
Penina?
Okay. I'll use this time. I have a lot of things I think that can make reporting on migration and mobility in Africa. I'll list only one since I have no time. My reasoning kind of aligns with Professor Akinfele's the need to Africanize the way migration is reported in Africa. Foreign media agencies kind of frame and set the agenda of how we report about it. So we need to get stories from Africa, made by Africans and within Africa. Maybe that will make migration and mobility, an issue that is being paid attention to.
Thank you, Penina. For sure, AI is a continuous learning challenge for all of us. So far, we have not discovered all the opportunities that we have with this tool, but I think that we can continue the discussions maybe after the session during the lunch, because we are running late. I will like to thank all the panelists here for your intervention, and also all the members of the team who are not here. I applaud them. And the mentors. Yeah. And thanks to all of you. And the journal.
It's nice to be young, isn't it? So another round of applause to the students. Congratulations on that beautiful work that you've done covering the conference. I think that this should form part of your portfolio that Antonio and Abbas talked about. So please have this under your belt and be proud of the work you've done. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the voting has closed. Do you still remember that we were voting? Yeah? Does anybody remember that we were voting? Okay, so the voting has closed. Exactly. And the Electoral Commission is now ready to announce the winner. And I think the beauty with this kind of technology is that we save no rigging, but also no spoiled votes. And no invalid votes. And are they there? Come on, Richard. It can't be that bad. So yes, let's get ready, Dr. Sibande and your team. Are they offline? I think that's it. Everything they know was the last year. So they're going to be okay. So I'll ask us to stand up because this is very serious business. It's very serious business. Yeah. So please stand up and take a deep breath out, in and out. One more time, and out. And ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. I'll now hand over the microphone to Dr. Uganda. Okay. Uh, a very difficult moment, as Sarah has just said. The votes by 11:15 were different. I had to check, and now they are completely different either. But the good thing is, all those who were showing up at 11:15 are still the winners at the end. So let me I'll quickly hand over the mic to the Vice Chancellor, the very Rev Associate Professor T.P. Kenya Suru. But in front, we would want to have also Dr. Michelle and Prof. Monica Chibika to present the certificates that have been prepared for the winners. Over to you. Please join us. Yeah. No rigging in this process. So no rigging. So our IT person will beam the results and they'll be very obvious.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah, the voting was done, and by 12 noon, everybody had voted. And now what has remained is to have the results of how citizens in this room have voted. So let me appreciate you all for taking your time to vote. And indeed, it's your right. You did it well. Those our colleagues who are IT, this was what we call a hybrid way of voting, the physical as well as the electronic. So the results will be beamed and we'll see how it has gone. Please may you beam the results there. Wow. So this is how it has gone. The first one has 35%, the second 29%, and the third 16%. So the first one, who is 35%, is Henry Nakuchuku. Nwachuku, thank you so much. Henry Nwachuku. And then the second is Jakandidia Seribe. How do you pronounce it? Like this? And the third one is Colin Ntika. Should be MTI, not N. I think MTI. Ntika. So for the first, I think Mary will be, there'll be 3 people lining up, passing through Prof. Monica, and then Dr. Michelle will officially hand over. Yeah. Yeah. So those who are taking certificate on behalf of Henry, who is coming? From there's Henry and Blessings. Yeah.
We can suggest to have the representative from Nigeria and
Yes.
Ghana. Okay. So Ngozi, Ralph, and Michael.
So those that are from Nigeria representing Henry. Yeah, so it's Henry, Emmanuel, and Blessings. Yes. Congratulations for and the chair too. Congratulations, yes. Wow. Michael and Professor Ralph, yes. Wow. Michael, where are you? Are you run away? Come. You are not American. You are a Nigerian. Ghanaian, sorry. Yeah, we usually treat Nigeria and Ghana to be brothers. Yeah. Yes, Ghana, Nigeria are brothers. Yes, congratulations. Thank you. Round of applause, please, once again. Congratulations. Thank you. So you, Prof. Thank you. Well done. Thank you. No, it was election. Thank you. Thank you. So they should. Oh, all right. We are right. Prof. Monica, they. Yeah. We stand here. Okay, fine. They are saying the reflection there on the beam. So let's move at the center. The reflection on the beaming does not take the pictures well, so we can move here. Yeah. This is better. The second one is from Burkina Faso, and let the Burkina Faso come. Burkina Faso. Bonjour. All Burkina Faso are supposed to be here. No one is left behind. Burkina Faso, all of you. Congratulations. Yeah, you need to hold your certificate and then, yeah, congratulations. Yeah. Hold your certificate and receive. You go there. You go there. Yeah. My goodness. Thank you. Then the last one for Colin Mtika from Malawi, or Malawians. We can also invite South Africa if you'd like. South Africa and Malawi are very close as well, but I don't know whether South Africa is here. South Africa, we are starting. Yes, line up here. Right. Mm. Thank you. What certificate? Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Nigeria, please come back. We need to take that photo again.
Do well. Yeah, it was the other side. Yeah.
So please
So
come
that
back
it's-
briefly and let's get
colorful.
that done.
Nigeria and Ghana. Yes. Ghana is coming, Michael. Huh? Nag. I think we are done. What does it mean is closing remarks that I will do. Yeah, right. Yeah, thank you so much. You can get your seats. Thank you. Let's clap hands for our leaders. Yeah, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my singular honor to thank you all for entrusting me to indeed go through this process of elections. And indeed, I can see that what you had voted for was really a good selection that came from your passion. So congratulations to all of you that you had voted. Michelle, thank you so much. This is a big motivation to the journalists. We hope, as you have actually, we have indicated that these people have received a special recognition, not only in our countries, but as well beyond. And although there have been only 3, but honestly speaking, these were competing stories. We read all of them, but at the end of the day, we have to choose one, which we have done. So the 3 stories were indeed the best among the best. Please extend our congratulations even to those that did not make to 1 to 3 in their positions, that we as a CoMMPASS conference will recognize such stories. Thank you so much. Once again, thank you. I hand over to the moderator.
Thank you very much, Doctor. I think that we need to congratulate ourselves for running such a transparent and fair election. Yeah. Fred says it can only be since we had the very reverend at the helm of it. So yes, it could only be. So thank you very much to all of you for participating. The rain is slowly, it's reducing. That's a good sign. And I hope that it's also brought us some refreshment. Yes. So now we'll have our next and last panel before lunch, the last session before lunch. And that will be chaired by Dr. Tayebwa. To discuss the replicability factor, what is missing in each of our institutions to scale up the CoMMPASS project to other topics. I think that that's something that we kept talking about, but probably not as deeply as we ought to. And now we have that opportunity. So I'll hand over to Dr. Tayebwa to chair the next session. And as he comes, perhaps I'll also brag a little. Dr. Tayebwa was my lecturer. And so do not be deceived by the gray hair, but he taught me. So so it's he so we have 3 generations here, 4 if you count Monica. So yeah, so Dr. Tayebwa Over to you. Please invite your panel.
Dr. Sarah is saying I should invite my panel. I don't have a panel. I'm alone. But yes, that's what keeps me in this job. The pay may not be the best, okay? But when you see people like Dr. Sarah, Dr. Fred Kakoza, you see that those were your products, you feel very, very, very proud. Now, the one who is clapping most, did you hear that clap? That one now is my lecture as well. And she was a lecturer of all these. So that is grandma lecturer, grandma professor. Because if she lectured me, taught me, and then I taught these ones, then you see where we are. So dear colleagues, this session speaks to, as you can see, I know I can see people very, very busy on their screens, and they don't know what is going to happen to them. Because this session is for all of us. So each one of you is a candidate to give us an answer. And I'm going to be dictatorial. So I'll be picking, hey, Dr. Kakoza, we have finished a very democratic election, eh? But the tradition in this land, on this continent, is you don't get your way. No. So beloved colleagues, as you can see, we are clearly moving towards the end of these 4 wonderful days. And as you can see, the theme of at the very start of the day, the word is very big, is and now. Huh? You see where it is? And now, what's next? And now, what's next? If those of you who have your program, you will see on Thursday, 5th Feb, that's what we have. And this session is, of course, it is not going to stand between us and lunch. My nose is very active, so I will be sniffing the lunch. The moment the lunch is ready, we stop. But if there is no sniffing of lunch, we shall be here. So this is where we are. And now, what's next? What's next? The gentleman is taking quite some time to get. Oh, okay. You see, you know what to copy? You've seen it? Oh dear. Oh, come on. Okay, maybe we should leave it. I don't know. It's going to take a lot of our time. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, here we are. What we are into right now is indeed looking ahead. The 2 sessions we have, this one and the next one, is looking ahead. And this particular session speaks to the issue of replicability, but also sustainability. So those of you who have your program, you can see the theme or the title of this session is the replicability factor. But I added the replicability and sustainability factor. And then it continues. The question there is what is missing in each of our institutions to scale up the CoMMPASS project to other topics. In there, I break it into 2 questions, which I said everyone, or maybe to prepare the people that will have to speak. Let me start with our, yes, Dr. Margaret, Professor Margaret. Let me start with the background to this project. Just a very quick reminder that this project had 6 universities. First of all, what we wanted to do was support the much needed digital transformation of higher education in this region with specific user-oriented, didactically designed tools that IODER has been doing very well, but also want to strengthen journalism training capacity. And I think the last session has spoken to that. So strengthening journalism training capacity will help to improve the quality of information and public discourse on migration and mobility in countries of origin, of transit, and destination at a time when the African media industry is struggling to tell the African story. You've had our student Penina, and of course Professor as well, and a couple of people in this room have been speaking to the issue of the African story of migration. And we just voted on those wonderful, wonderful stories that really clearly told the African narrative. In that, we had 6 universities. So 3 African universities, Burkina Faso, Malawi, Uganda, 3. Those are the main partner universities. But we also had those others participating in the project, 2 universities from Europe, Germany, and Portugal, alongside 8 universities from other African countries. And those are the ones I'm interested in right now, okay? So in that, the partner universities, because for us as 6 core universities, the issue of sustainability and replicability, I think you gave us a lot of feedback. But we want to listen more from you, okay? So in those countries, we have Ethiopia. So Dr. Mulatu is right there. So the microphone should move closer to him, okay? And then we have also Ghana. So Professor Michael, the microphone from Prof. Mulatu goes to Prof. Michael. And Kenya. Okay, we have others, Cameroon, Guinea-Bissau. We don't have them in the room, but we have Kenya. Professor Levi Obonyo. Every time I cross the Kenyan border, Professor Levi Obonyo becomes my boss because I'm external examiner at Daystar University in the school which he heads. So straight away he becomes my head. So Professor Bonyo, you'll get to the microphone. And then Nigeria. Sister Ngozi, that the microphone will go to you. So when we have time and the food has not come, then I will go to the other universities in the room. And the questions are on the second. Can you remove that thing of the participants so we can see the questions well? Thank you. So those are the guiding questions. In your very brief remarks, mindful of the lunch, okay? And the fact that others may want to contribute to that conversation. Number 1, what good practices from the CoMMPASS project should we replicate in our respective institutions? So you've been listening. I know you have very many good practices in there. And the CoMMPASS project, as we know, you've had. One was based on the model of self-paced courses. A CoMMPASS project where we had modules, 14 modules that were self-paced. People went in there and then they followed those courses, during the time they wanted. So that's the model, the CoMMPASS model. But also from the perspective of the modules. Now that takes us to question number 2, okay? So question number 2 is, in your respective institutions, it could be schools, it could be departments, but it could be programs. Dr. Kakoza, are you with me? Because I'm coming to you next. Okay, so which departments, schools, or programs should we target to encourage the adoption or the adaptation of the CoMMPASS model or of the CoMMPASS modules, the 14 modules? Are we together? 2 questions to speak to. Dr. Andrew, you look very tired and bored. Both, very tired and bored. Um, Professor Molatu. So can you give the microphone to Andrew to pass it over? Yes, so that he can move around and Dr. Mulatu. Dr. Mulatu has already one, so give it to Dr. Michael, Professor Michael. The one of Professor Mulatu is not on. It's not working. Michael, test yours. If it works, then give it to Mulatu. It works?
Yeah, they all work.
I think, Mike, hello.
Okay, so we have a
One,
rapporteur.
this one.
You can go.
I would have wanted to be typing the responses, but we have a rapporteur. So the rapporteur will be capturing these. But should you have other suggestions, anything to add to that, how we should be able to replicate, if you have suggestions on replicability of the CoMMPASS model, or the best way you think we can sustain this model, please send the the responses to any of the people you hear, Dr. Michael, I think all of you now, Michelle, you have his email, you have the emails of all or most of us. You can send those responses and the rapporteur will be able to capture them. Professor Molatu, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. William. I'm going to talk this issue from two different countries. I'm currently living in Norway and working in the university called the University of Agder, but I'm coming from Ethiopia. So this CoMMPASS project can be replicated into different countries, both in Norway and in Ethiopia. Just to start from Ethiopia, the course content is and all the programs can be replicated without any change except the language. We have so many languages, but we have one official language. Then if we are able to translate the course content into Amharic, I'm sure it will have a large coverage. As I mentioned in my first day presentation, there are many universities in Ethiopia which are offering journalism and communication courses. There are around 24 universities. However, such content, from my understanding, I know almost all of them, they are developing courses from my former university, Addis Ababa University. So such kinds of content has not been taught in none of the universities. So it's very important to replicate these courses in the Ethiopian context by changing only the language. The second most important one that I'm going to now is I'm now working at University of Agder at the Department of Global Development Studies, which migration is one of the element. So I have to explore what kind of opportunities and what kind of collaborations will be my next assignment. Then I'll contact either Dr. William or Dr. Michelle in the future, how we are going to take these courses into my current universities. The second question is, which department should we target to encourage the adaptation of the CoMMPASS model? Well, when we are talking about migration, it is a cross, what do you call it? Huh? Cross, there is one term, intersectional, or just it can cross from media to migration, social change, development, politics, everywhere. So we couldn't see migration as a separate entity. And we couldn't see migration only from the media perspective. So in the case of Ethiopia, I think we can also attract departments like migration and social studies, political studies departments, and some other departments which are focusing on migration, disaster, and human crisis. There are lots of departments, lots of faculties in Ethiopia, in different universities. So it's very important to approach these universities and to use this amazing content. This is what I have, Dr. William. Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay. Uh, I want to tackle the first question, which relates to the good practices that we can replicate in our respective universities. I think that in Ghana, there is a massive higher education cost for both government, parent, and everyone, because we have about 250,000 to 300,000 people entering tertiary institutions almost every year. So that are huge numbers, and universities, a single university is admitting like 10,000 students, some 15,000, some 20,000 in a year. Classrooms are problematic for such huge numbers. So the CoMMPASS project, it's something that I in our respective universities, I think what we in Ghana might love about this CoMMPASS project is a witness statement from the CoMMPASS team to the regulators and to university councils, maybe when the need be to invite you about how this was possible. So that maybe at the national level, we can develop courses for first year students that 100,000 or 200,000 upscaling students can take across the country. Because almost every Ghanaian university organizes certain courses for all students in the first year. And we struggle to run these courses. We struggle a lot because I was director of a first year course called Communicative Skills for 12,000 students. It's impossible that I'm able to treat everybody correctly. And we give pen and paper test. Pen and paper test, 4 of it throughout the semester. And then we teach the student face to face. Sometimes 150 in a class or 100 in a class. I think the effectiveness of this program is something that we need to share across respective universities. The reason is this: people's complaints are about quality. But what we have done in this CoMMPASS project is that we've brought all faculty from participating universities to develop a content that is acceptable to all of us. We're interested in the quality. We think it's good. All of us have agreed that it's good. And we have agreed to train facilitators to help. So I think that that is the practice that we need to look at. And maybe some of the things that you have mentioned could also be looked at, which is some of the difficulties and the challenges we have faced in this program are some of the things we can share with our respective universities as well. One of the things that I think we can do as well is to speak about how our of them, I don't know, Michelle can tell us if they completed or not, but that's clearly the problem, that there are difficulties they're having. So we need to improve that. And I think also that what we can do, or what we might want to do, is that CoMMPASS needs now to be the pioneer of creating a digital badge, that a digital badge,
Okay.
which is a micro credential to show that this journalist has knowledge in coverage of migration. And this badge will be shared with both employers and regulators as having certain competencies in covering a special area. And on the basis of that, student could earn both the badge and a course credit in their schools. So that then we're giving it that particular um, importance in our schools. The reason is this: we have had something called gender mainstreaming across Ghanaian universities. It's a United Nations project to mainstream people's understanding of gender. So that has been successful. And now, if you go to a Ghanaian university, you're supposed to take a course in gender, and before you can get your certificate. It's on the basis of gender mainstreaming. And then that's not the only one. We have had entrepreneurship mainstreaming in our university. All 12,000 students in the first year. You have up to first year to third year to pass that course. All you need is a pass to get your certificate. in addition to all the courses you take in the university, you must pass that course. Entrepreneurship mainstreaming, gender mainstreaming. Those are two compulsory passable courses. So why not speak about adding migration mainstreaming? And so I think those are some of the things that we can speak about when we go, because usually they are looking for what has changed, what can we add to the areas of mainstreaming, because mainstreaming means that there's lack of knowledge in the area. I would like all the students who come to our university to be champions of this area, like climate. They are currently working on climate change and AI, so things like that. Which will be courses that all students will take. And over time, then some courses fade out and others come in after we have mainstream for a decade. So those are some of the things. Well, if I go to the second question, I think several departments would benefit from even the CoMMPASS content. Not only media student. In my university, much of the migration research is done in sociology department. So they would also, their student would benefit, and they have huge student numbers. So, and then we have economics department as well, because of the remittance bit of migration to people in Ghana, because it's a big thing. Migration, people don't talk about it as the effect they get is good, which is remittance. I think international affairs studies and African studies department would benefit from contemporary understanding of migration on the continent. So these are the new department we can be looking at taking these courses. And over time, I think that we can also continue with the conversation as to which other departments can benefit from knowledge about intra-Africa migration. It's very important as well. I think the modules in the CoMMPASS project covers a lot of this knowledge. These are my contributions for now.
Yes. Thank you very much, Professor Sorno. Excellent submissions there. So the second question, the aim, thanks very much, the two so far. The idea is that we don't want to stop within, besides our own discipline is interdisciplinary, isn't it? You know, our students take political science, they take sociology, they take psychology, they are in economics and all these. Languages, of course, as well, languages indeed. Yeah, so it's an assignment for us that when we leave this room, we go back to engage not only within ourselves, within our schools of journalism and communication, but with other units within our respective universities and other institutions as well. Oh, I saw, where did he go? Mr. Kisembo? You see, il était votre voisin. Il est parti? He's just here because we need Mr. Kisembo from Media Challenge Initiative. Yeah, okay, but by the time the academic colleagues finish, then he will probably have come. Professor Ngozi, Nigeria.
Thank you very much, sir. For me, our take home, based on question number one, what good practices from the CoMMPASS project should we replicate in our respective institutions? For me, number one thing is evidence-based evaluation. This is one thing I have seen in CoMMPASS, which means we must be able to evaluate, what we do constantly by collecting feedback from the participants, which is what CoMMPASS did. Also, what I would take home is the use of digital tools for our engagement. This is seriously lacking, and we know we are in the age of technology. We need to, be abreast with what is happening now. So when I go back, I'm going to, talk to my people that we need to move with the trend so that we are not left behind. This is one thing I've also learned from here, including the inculcation of AI because as I know now, a lot of my colleagues down there are still skeptical about the use of AI, even sometimes in the those in the industry. When you tell them about AI, they say no, 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 and they have a lot of perceptions about AI. But with what we have learned now, I know that there's so much we can do with the help of AI. So I'm going to take that one home too. And then another one is what I've also learned here is there should be a strong collaboration between those in the academics and in the industry. Because like we all know, we always have this silent, should I call it disagreement between each other? But we've come to learn that we need to complement each other. And even thinking there are some courses that we might bring those in the field, to even talk to our students or even teach the lecturers. Let me just take, for example, let's say something like investigative journalism. You can look for those who have been in the field, who have done that over the years, and they are well experienced. Nothing stops us from bringing them into the academics to share their experiences with both the students and the lecturers. We are supposed to learn from each other. There should be a symbiotic relationship between those in the academia and those in the field. There should be no room for fights or disagreements or conflicts and all that. So we should, because we are all working towards a good, progress and success of our various professions. So there should be strong collaboration between those in the academia and those in the institutions. And then for question number 2, which has to do with which departments, schools, programs should we target to encourage the adoption and adaptation of the CoMMPASS model and or modules. For me, one, I will start with my faculty and department. So my faculty is number 1. In my faculty, we have different departments. We have Department of Journalism, we have a broadcasting department, we have public relations and advertising, and we have the film department. Because before we were, NUC said we should unbundle. So before these various departments are seen as one, but now by NUC, which is the governing body of universities in Nigeria, they have told us to unbundle. So for now, we have 4 departments. And I think that these 4 departments need to, adopt this program in their various departments. Also, we have the political department, we have the sociology department, we have the psychology department, we also have the conflict department, because most of this migration is born out of conflict, whether we like it or not, whether internal conflict, when you have conflict within yourself, or you have conflict with the society, or you have conflict with things happening around you. It starts with the when you're not satisfied. So we need to treat this in the various departments. And then we have a particular department we call the GS department, General Studies. General Studies, yes. So this General Studies is for all the departments now in the institute, and it's majorly for our year 1 students. So this CoMMPASS will be good to be inculcated in our general studies department, whereby at least as the students are coming in, they have a little view or an idea of what migration is all about. So with that, it can also, it can be built up further. So these are what I think we can do for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. Ngozi. So, the people closer to the...
I don't trust your nose.
You don't?
Don't trust.
My nose is starting to sniff something. but maybe bits and pieces coming in. So, Professor, by the time Professor Bonyo finishes, maybe my nose will be fully engaged. So, Professor Bonyo.
I'll be collaborating with Andrew. So Andrew, just watch out, so that I can be able to see what's going on. Uh, Largely two issues from where I sit with regard to the program. One,
Professor Bonyo, is your thing on?
yeah, one is how do we integrate the program into the regular programs that we offer? In the sense that these are students registered in the study of journalism or whatever form, but breaking down that whole process into the skills acquisition, but also content acquisition. And so within the area of skills acquisition, there are certain parallels that to go through. However, when it comes to content acquisition, this program provides something really new that average students do not go through. And yet, when you talk about migration, from its two-dimensional perspective in my mind, one is obviously the political, where, we cross the borders to run away from persecution. But number two, the normal, which is still migration, crossing the border to go and herd your cattle across on the other side and coming back. And some of the challenges that we face through, if we give the example of, say, Kenya, Tanzania, so you have one community on this side, and their politician is being persecuted, and you have people on the other side who are screaming, "You are punishing our man." And you're saying, but you're Tanzanians, these guys are Kenyans. Says, no, 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 but they are both Maasais. And so you have these challenges. Or the case of Uganda and Kenya Teso community, where the king has his subjects in Kenya. And so the following day, he wants to go and visit his subjects in Kenya, and he doesn't know this border thing. And so how do we, as within the African context, then be able to look at this conversation as it informs our journalism? And more particularly, then to sandwich it, at Daystar we offer a liberal arts program, which means that besides just the skills acquisition, you also need to acquire a content area. And the more you can do that, the better for you. And so I see that potential of of enabling the students to take this course to satisfy the content area within the larger program that they are having, so that in light of what the Ghanaian was saying about the badge of international, so besides the badge of international, they'll also be taking it for credit, as it were, so that credit counts to their graduation, so that is sort of like built in what they're doing. What's the hurdle to this? The Senate. And so if we can be able to speak to the Senate that they understand, and I think it is within the schools, within the departments, to be able to justify to the Senate that the program that we are offering satisfies the requirement of graduation, so that we can incorporate it as an alternative to which the student can be able to take to meet the graduation needs that they require. I see a lot of potential in that area, and I really wish that as part of the sustainability, depending on how the rendition can continue to be executed, that then be incorporated, even if the faculty at that stage is local, but has already been socialized in the processes of CoMMPASS, so that they're able to deliver that. I think it will satisfy the requirement for content specialization that the student would have, because the practices that are here are fairly international standard, so that should not really be an issue. You have qualified faculty, you have content that has been approved, you have et cetera, that one would be able to look at. But I think that level would really be important. And then in terms of looking at it from the microcredit perspective, conversation that we have had here, and I think that engagement that we might be looking at from the regional area, regulatory frameworks, could really provide another push in terms of the potential of it applying just across the regions where we are, so that it could also be a standalone
that can also, besides being offered to students of journalism, could actually be offered to in-house journalists that can be interested through conversation that one would have with the editorial team at other media houses, so that whether they take the whole, they go the whole hog, or they select a menu that fits the needs of that school, that will still be able to make this content available to particularly people who are in this specific areas. After all, this region is a very difficult neighborhood with respect to migration and refugees, and therefore that content should be of interest to journalists. In light of question 2, it just crosses my mind that what is the economic impact of this content? And so the School of Business, for example, to be able to incorporate the implications of what is going on here in immigration. I think when you take good examples, for instance, when Kenyans migrated, sought refuge in Uganda, what was the impact of that economically? And what has that continued to be? And how can that be incorporated into the conversations that we have around this? I see the potential of School of Business, for instance, and other related schools for psychology, the impact that this has on the mindsets of the individuals who have been involved. Yeah, so I think in a nutshell, I would see that a continued conversation in terms of mainstreaming and seeing how institutions can be able to draw from this. From where I sit, I don't know why I imagine that our biggest challenge to convince is actually the Senate in order to incorporate some of the things that we're doing. And now here that since we have some of the chairs of Senate, like we have the VC and all that, we just tell the VC, go and ring the bell and say, this is adopted, and so it is.
And we have Professor Obonyo here who sits in Senate as well, Professor Monica Chibita, and very many people in this room who sit in Senate, so they can be able to push the agenda. And we had wonderful people from the respective national councils for higher education on the aspect of micro credentials. Andrew, thanks very much. Hands for Professor Bonyo. I did not hear the hands. Huh? Now, so the other big interest, as my nose is still sniffing, yeah, like seriously, Professor Monica, you are the one with the best side. So you just tell me, right? Okay. You can confirm. Wonderful. Please confirm. As we listen to Mr. Kisembo, my nose is not. I told you. Andrew, you don't trust my nose. So Mr. Kisembo is a media change initiative. Those lovely guys, professors, someone else talked of bringing in people from the industry, and the ultimate multimedia consult where Mr. Kisembo was before, right? You started there, right? Yes. Then started Media Challenge Initiative. People we have an MOU with, a memorandum of understanding with these groups, with academic institutions like our department. So, Mr. Kisembo, very quickly, so that Professor Monica is here to confirm. Aha! So now, Mr. Kisembo, you have 3 minutes so that we can now end with you and we go for lunch. But this conversation will continue in the next session that will be chaired by Dr. Fred Kakoza, because the issues are more or less the same, right? They can cross-pollinate. Mr. Kisembo, over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Taeva. And I want to speak to the issue of sustainability. But before that is if we want to replicate and make sure that this project is sustainable, we need to think about the instructors and the trainers themselves. Because if we as trainers, we are not retooled, retooling to understand online teaching as it should, then the question of sustainability of such a project is still a big question, because even the first day we're discussing appreciation of online learning, and the projects is purely online. So we need to think about how do we then profile such trainers so that we make sure that wherever the project is replicated, we have a good course that will make sure the project continues and yields impact. Yes, much as I know this course is self-paced, but you cannot leave out the fact that presence is very important when also engaging with participants online. Then I was thinking parts or in the industry, there are quite a number of fellowship programs that different organization and videos are doing. And for us as Media Challenge organization, we run a Media Challenge fellowship program, and we have been restructuring our program, and we have been thinking, how do we incorporate such projects for the participants and have it carry percentage, so that for you to graduate out of the program, there's a percentage of online course that you have to take. But the emphasis for such a course to have impact, like what Prof. Michael said, how do we then create a badge for such, so that even the industry players can accept and appreciate? If they see any person such a badge, they were able to say this is a well-credited course. It is a skills-based course, yes, but we can trust that the person who attended such a course has good skills and credentials that would enable them to cause impact. But also, I think the other important thing that the course I think provides is the micro learning approach, which is very, very important as far as online learning is concerned. How do we pace our content so that you have these small videos, audio clips that would enable learning, but also engagement for the participants, more easy and enjoyable? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hands up for her. Him, Dr. Sarah Namusoga, my beloved student, but now my beloved professor of artificial intelligence and all those wonderful things. You come here and tell us what next, but also maybe a word of prayer for lunch.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Taebwa, for taking us through that session. You're right. I think none of you is wrong on what's going to happen next. So I'll not take more of your time. I'll ask Dr. Kakoza here, who's chairing that session, to lead us in a word of prayer.
Let us pray. Father God, we want to thank you for this session, this beautiful session that we have had, and all the sessions that we've been able to go through. We want to thank you for all the days that you have kept us here and in good health. And now that it's time for lunch, may you allow us to partake of this food and may it nourish us. In your name we have prayed. Amen.
Okay, so lunch is served. We'll take a bit of time and be back here at 20 minutes past 2. Okay? So enjoy your lunch and see you back in 45 minutes.
We welcome you. Spirit of God, we welcome you. Welcome you, we welcome you. Come have your way, we welcome you. Release your grace, release your power. Almighty God, we welcome you.